Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And that breaking news this noon is concerning the UAW strike. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday at noon. I'm Rhonda Walker.
And I'm Jason Colthorpe. We're on day 6 now of the UAW strike against Detroit's 3 automakers, and we're just getting this into the newsroom. Stellantis has announced the possible layoff of more than 350 employees. A statement issued by Stellantis saying, quote, as a consequence of the strike action at the Toledo Assembly Complex, Stellantis confirming it will immediately temporarily lay off 68 employees at the Toledo machining plant that's in Perrysburg, Ohio. It's right outside Toledo. Due to the storage constraints, the automaker also said similar layoffs could come to plants in Kokomo, Indiana, affecting an estimated 300 employees there.
And this comes as the UAW is holding a practice picket at Stellantis headquarters in Auburn Hills today. Sean Fain, the UAW president, announced a new strike deadline on Friday at noon in hopes of seeing more progress in the contract talks with the automakers. On the morning show at 5 a.m., our Nick Monticelli spoke to Roscoe on the Michigan Assembly Plant picket line, and he says they are willing to keep the strike going.
Day 6 now. Are you guys growing tired? Are you still good to go?
We good. We still good to go. We ready to do this for 30 days, maybe 60 days, 90 days, whatever y'all need. We here to get ours. Everybody, man. We work too hard. We here standing on our feet every day. Every day. Wow, we got CEOs pushing their pens.
There does seem to be movement in the negotiations, but the movement may not come quick enough to prevent more picketing.
U.S. Steel, which supplies the automakers, temporarily laying off workers at its plant in Granite City, Illinois, also in response to the strike. A company spokeswoman said they don't take these decisions lightly and will keep monitoring market conditions. The layoffs could last about 6 months and put as many as 350 of that plant's 1,300 workers out of a job. Now to a developing story out of Dearborn.
And a sad one there where a well-known florist was shot and killed. Sean Lay is live on the scene and has been talking to the victim's family.
And looking into this all morning long, right here, such a busy shopping center, Ford Road, right before the Southfield Freeway. It happened right outside this popular restaurant, Sushi Co., and it happened right here in this parking space. A man walking out with his fiancée after eating last night. They were just days away, guys, from celebrating their engagement. His luxury SUV was right here. We're told by family members he was ambushed, shot, watch taken, keys taken, and his necklace taken. Today, family members are calling it absolutely outrageous. It happened here just before 9:30 last night at the Dearborn restaurant Sushi Co. on Ford Road. This is where we are told Dearborn florist Hassan Salame was out to dinner with his fiancée, along with his fiancée's sister. And as they left, Salame was gunned down right here in front of the restaurant, just feet from the front door. The couple were about to get into Salame's luxury SUV, a Mercedes G-Wagon, parked right in front. She heard 3 shots. Salame was on the ground. He did not survive. For this to happen here, in one of the busiest shopping centers in this area, Salame's cousin says it's so tragic. His family is reeling, but it's also outrageous.
I can't tell you how sad it is. I can't even my brain still doesn't even comprehend that this happened.
Back here live, this also happened right in front of a camera pointed right at that parking space. A Dearborn police detective is inside right now, likely reviewing that footage. We also expect to hear from Dearborn police on this within the hour. We can tell you it's a very active investigation. Much more to come. We're live in Dearborn. Sean Lay, Local 4. Rhonda, Jason, back to you.
Well, hopefully they can track down whoever is responsible for this tragedy. Sean, thank you. We are working to learn the condition of a man pulled from a house fire early this morning on Detroit's west side. Our Local 4 crews pulled up just as firefighters were leaving the scene just before 7 a.m. This was at a home on Greenway near Livernois and I-96. Fire officials told us the man was breathing when he was rescued, but we have not gotten an update on his condition since.
Pit bulls will no longer be allowed in Grosse Pointe Shores after city leaders vote to ban them.
Residents who already have a pit bull are okay, but must register their dogs. This decision comes after a recent pit bull attack that caused another dog to lose a leg and injure the owner. Many came out to last night's meeting against the ban, but after a close vote, the ban was approved.
This ban is wrong on every level toward a breed that is consistently misunderstood and villainized.
Anytime you move towards the goal of fewer and less severe injuries or problems, I think you're pushing the ball forward, and I think it's important to consider doing that. And so I'm in favor of banning the pit bulls.
For residents in the Grosse Pointe Shores area, right now we're not sure how the enforcement will happen or the consequences of having an unregistered pit bull within the city limits.
All right, follow me on this one. Kraft is recalling roughly 83,000 cases of the individually wrapped Kraft Singles American cheese that the company is calling unpleasant and faulty. Kraft Heinz saying it could be a choking hazard because it might make people gag. Here's what the problem is. A company statement characterized it as a temporary issue with one of the wrapping machines, meaning a thin strip of the individual film might still be on the slice of cheese after you take the wrapper off. Kraft issued a recall after several customers complained of finding the plastic on that cheese, which definitely qualifies it as unpleasant.
Yes, that would be an unpleasant experience to bite into the plastic.
That's right. Yeah.
President Joe Biden and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky made impassioned pleas to the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday.
They urged world leaders to continue support for the war-torn country. NBC's Bree Jackson in Washington, and much of the president's UN address focused on Ukraine.
President Biden urged allies not to back down on their support for Ukraine and warned of the consequences a Russian victory could have. That's a message echoed by Ukrainian President Zelensky.
Thank you, and keep it up.
President Biden calling for a united effort to back Ukraine in its fight against Russian aggression.
Our world stands at an inflection point where the decisions we make now are going to determine our future for decades to come. We need you to help set the course on a more stable and secure path.
A stance the president also took while standing before world leaders at the United Nations General Assembly Tuesday, urging them to continue providing aid to help the Ukrainian people more than 18 months into Russia's attacks. President Zelensky also pleading for ongoing support and warning that Russian President Vladimir Putin may wage war against them next.
Many seats in the General Assembly Hall may become empty if Russia succeeds with its treachery and aggression.
On Thursday, Zelensky is scheduled to come to Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are weighing whether to provide more funding to Ukraine. Some Republicans are firmly against it.
It's going to be, hand out more requests for money, and my position on that's clear. My mind on that is made up.
If we allow these kind of aggressions to go forward with impunity, if we allow Putin to get away with this, then it is open season for any would-be aggressor to do the same thing.
The White House is seeking $24 billion in additional aid to Ukraine. President Biden and President Zelensky are scheduled to meet at the White House Thursday. Together, they hope to convince lawmakers here on Capitol Hill to continue aid to Ukraine. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
All right, Bree. Time to talk about the forecast here this midweek, the midway point of the week.
Yeah, anxious to get outside and enjoy it. Is there anything going to get in our way in terms of the radar, Ashley?
There are a couple spotty showers on radar, but most of this has been fizzling out as it pushes into southeastern Michigan. We're getting a little bit of the cloud cover from it, but I wouldn't be scrapping any outdoor plans this afternoon. As we look at Exact Track 4D, you can really see that there might be a little kind of light sprinkle in the northeastern part of Lapeer County and down into Monroe, and that's about it across our area. Otherwise, the sun's been trying to peek through. A little cloudier, though, in Mount Clemens. Already at 70 in Detroit, 66 in Howell, 72 in Port Huron, and 71 in Monroe, with a light southerly breeze out there, averaging out probably about 5 miles per hour. And so it's really a pleasant afternoon despite the cloud cover. So as we look at sky conditions, no reports of rain coming down, just mostly cloudy to overcast skies across the area. And we do anticipate those clouds to thin as we head throughout the afternoon. So getting a little sunshine heading into the early part of the evening. That could help bump those temperatures up into the mid-70s, but overall, we'll call it partly sunny to mostly cloudy. That temperature trend is going to continue to tick upward heading into tomorrow, staying above average at least until we get to the first day of fall. We'll have more on this coming up in just a few minutes.